Welcome, Negronis with Nord, episode 51. It is, 12:15, so we're not drinking yet. So excuse the waters and coffee, but we all have a long day ahead of us. Super excited. It is that time of year again. Sephora Squad is coming. Sephora season is upon us. I have two of the leaders of the team. Suze, who's been running the team for, it's your second year now, running the whole show?
Running the whole show.
Okay, and you've been on it for?
4 going on 5 years.
4 going on 5 years, which 5 years on the Sephora account is 10 years on a normal account. It's like dog years, kind of. And Steph, how long have you been with us?
Just about 2 years.
Suze was obviously, you were on the show last year. Everyone knows Suze. Tell us, Steph, what do you do?
I'm a senior manager on the Sephora team here at Fohr, and sometimes I like to say I'm like the matchmaker between the Sephora brands and the squad. So I really help lead the charge in pairing our Sephora Squad members with the brands within Sephora for campaigns.
Okay, so applications are open, correct?
Yes.
If I want to apply, how do I do that?
Yes, applications are officially open. So to apply, we are interested in looking for talent and creators of all different follower sizes, backgrounds, interests, ethnicities, and you can go to sephorasquad.com and you'll be able to easily apply now. Applications close on April 4th. Each application takes roughly 20 minutes to complete, but 20 minutes could be, the rest of your life change. So we highly recommend jumping over there. It's really quick and easy and just allows you to have the opportunity of a lifetime.
Amazing. I feel like a lot of people will hear that and say that they think it's bullshit, that we're looking for influencers of all different sizes, right? For last year, what were the following ranges from, the kind of smallest influencer to the largest on the program?
Yeah. When we say we really want influencers of all different follower sizes and backgrounds, it is truly Sephora's mission to uplift different voices in the beauty community, and it's not necessarily just about follower size. We obviously want reach and engagement, but it's really about making sure that we can create a space of belonging in the beauty community, and we can really uplift voices that might have been previously underrepresented, or really speak to all the different people who shop and consume at Sephora. So we've had people who have as small as couple hundred followers on Instagram or TikTok, up to people that have 5 million followers on TikTok. So we have a really broad span of influencers we work with, and we make sure to cater to each of those different follower sizes and be able to work with creators at different points in their career to give them different types of support to make sure that they can be set up for success.
I'm not going to go through the whole thing. What is Sephora Squad? I mean, if you're watching this like niche YouTube show and you don't know what Sephora Squad is, I don't even know what to say, how you found this. So I assume most people who are going to apply for it know what it is. At this point, probably the preeminent ambassador program in the world, and stop. I think for an influencer, as you said, this is a life-changing opportunity. We've, been lucky enough to see that over the last 5 years, how much this progresses people's careers, how much just being in the squad, opens you up to a huge amount of opportunities outside of the squad as well. I think that's been a big surprise for most members, is just how much it opens you up to other opportunities outside of Sephora, not to mention how big the actual Sephora opportunity is. The program is different because we require an application. As you said, it takes 20 minutes to apply. That's not a small amount of time, but ultimately, are you guys reading these applications? How much does that application matter? Or are you just looking at a follower count and engagement rates? Like, how important is the application side of things?
I would say it's extremely important. We do read every single application. It really gives us the opportunity to understand who the influencers are behind their profiles. Like, what impact are they making in their community? What's the inspiration that they're bringing to people that are following them? And what is like their authenticity? Like, what is something different that they're bringing to the beauty space? A lot of that is, we're essentially gathering that from their application, from their testimonials. So we always, we try to give the advice to influencers, like, really take your time when you're filling out this application, like, show who you are. Don't be afraid to be authentic and tell your story, because that could be the moment that really sets you apart from everyone else, essentially.
What if I feel like I've got a good following, I've got good stats, I've got great content, I've worked with brands before, and I don't really want to put the time into the application? Like, how difficult would it be to become part of the squad if you didn't take the time to really answer those questions thoughtfully?
We really view the applications as showing someone's true interest and passion about, one, Sephora, but two, also really having an impact in their community. And if someone's not willing to be able to put in, a little bit of energy in the upfront to be able to share why they are so passionate about being a creator and what this really means to them in the space, then that's probably something that they're not going to be willing to do throughout the entire year of the partnership. So for us, really being able to see deep, meaningful answers and responses. There's only 2 long-form questions in the application. It's really not that much in-depth work. Most of it's pretty short form, or you're filling in some bubbles, just checking the boxes to confirm what types of content you like to make, or if you're part of the Beauty Insider community, things like that. But I think being able to understand and really see that people have a true passion sets them apart and allows us to understand that this is something that would be meaningful for them, no matter their follower size or their establishment in the space.
I think it's like that's such an important differentiator in this program, and what is so exciting about it, and obviously why we structured it this way, is that again, those applications, especially with these platforms being fickle, with the algorithms being different, with each audience and each influencer's relationship with that audience being unique, the application gives you this place to set yourself apart and tell that story, tell the story, as you said, beyond the feed, beyond those numbers. And, one of the great things is, with 10,000 or so people applying every year for 50 spots, if you don't take the time to thoughtfully answer the questions, which again are not that robust, I mean, we'll look through it, but it's easy to say, okay, we're gonna not, let's move this one to
you don't genuinely feel passionate about this. So
because going from 10,000 to 50, you need ways to cut a lot of people out, right? And again, y'all do somehow look at every application, which is amazing.
Labor of love.
But all that to say, put that time in. There is a person reading it. Those people happen to be sitting right here. And are ultimately a huge factor in deciding who gets this, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about another big part of the application, which is testimonials, which is a really fun / a really scary sometimes part of it. So explain the testimonial process first, and then we'll talk about their importance.
So for testimonials, we essentially have the opportunity, once you've filled out your application, you've submitted it. As part of that, you will upload a beautiful headshot of yourself, and we will be able to pop out some really great custom assets for you. You'll receive an asset that could go in a story type format. You can get an in-feed type asset. We also now this year will have a green screen asset. So anyone on TikTok who wants to throw that up, give the followers a shout out on TikTok that they've applied and to ask for testimonials, can use that as well. But this essentially allows you to create essentially those assets to promote your testimonials, and you also get a custom link where any of your followers can go in and submit a testimonial for you. You also have in that page a testimonial scoreboard, so you'll be able to keep track with how many testimonials you have, and at different key milestones, you also get a notification and a really cool custom asset to celebrate that.
So is it a popularity contest? Does most testimonials win?
That is oftentimes, I think, what people think, but it's actually not the case. What we're really looking for is the impact in your community. So we've had people, obviously a testimonial does not hurt your application, it will help, but we're not saying necessarily that you have to have thousands of testimonials in order to be selected for the squad. It's something that just allows us to see the impact you've had on your community and to make better decisions about someone who's going to really be able to share Sephora's values of belonging and create a community space where we're actually authentically celebrating beauty in a way that really resonates. So for us, it's about not necessarily the numbers, but really what are people saying about you? What are they saying that you're bringing to the space? What kind of impact have you had on their lives, so that we can better understand how your vision and mission is actually going out and being presented into the world.
Yeah. And Steph, you've been on the program now for a couple of years. Understandable for influencers, it's a weird thing, right? There's no other programs really that ask you to share a link publicly with your audience to say, hey, basically, I'm applying for a job that I really want, and I need your help to get that job. Have you, in your conversations with influencers, is that something you hear that oh, they were nervous to do that? And ultimately, what is the experience generally for people who finally do take the step to share that link out and to try and get their audience to leave testimonials?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, understandably so, it's nerve-wracking. It's nerve-wracking to ask your audience for essentially to vouch for you, to put out something really nice for you. I feel like often a lot of the creators that we speak with, you know, it's just that experience of asking people to do something for you that could be really nerve-wracking, especially when it's something that could ultimately change your life, like that experience of putting yourself out there. But I feel like once you take that leap and you just go for it, like really seeing the impact that you are making, it's almost like feeding that inspiration into the creators to keep going, not to give up, and to really take that leap into trying to join the program, because it really is something that can change their lives.
Because as a creator applying, do I get to see the testimonials?
So the way it works right now is that once a testimonial is submitted, the testimonial leaver will receive a custom asset that will include their testimonial, and they're more than welcome to either share that directly with you or post it on social and tag you so that you can see it in that format. We don't have the testimonials immediately go directly to the influencer who's applied. There's not that direct access, but if you do have people that you are, asking for testimonials and you want to be able to see them, we really just say, to your followers, if you've left me a testimony I'd love to see, please share it with me, send it to me in a DM, you can post it and tag me. I would love to be able to share this and see what impact I'm making in my community. And I think that that's been really something that we've seen a lot of success with, and just shows the reward to the influencers as well, who are really excited to see the impact they're making.
Yeah, I think that part of it is so special. Like more often than not, we'll see their community members sharing their testimonials out on social. The influencers applying will reshare those posts, and you can really just see firsthand like how this is coming to life and the experience that's coming to life for the influencers.
This is substantially harder to get in than Harvard, we always like to say. Again, I think what's so exciting is that it's not a popularity contest. It's not about follower size. This is, everybody does have well, not everybody. We'll go to some kind of non-starters. Like I probably wouldn't get in, having never created any beauty content ever in my life. Like
No makeup tutorials.
Yeah,
I probably don't have a chance to get in. For being the preeminent program in the space, it is also the most fair and the least like a kind of popularity contest. But again, for most people who don't get in, ultimately seeing those testimonials is hugely rewarding. And I think that it's such a lonely job. Running your own business, doing this is pretty lonely, and you often don't get that positive feedback, right? You don't have a boss who pulls you aside every couple of weeks to tell you, hey, you're doing a great job. Not that I do that for my employees enough, but you don't have that positive reinforcement a lot of times, right? And you may get the odd DM, oh, you've been so helpful to me, thank you. But seeing that feedback and creating a space for your audience to show that gratitude, I think for a lot of people has been immensely rewarding, as well as like just putting themselves out there, and then feeling like, hey, I went for this. I was really proud to have done it. And maybe they'll apply a following year. We've seen a lot of people who get it the second or the third year in applying. But I think, again, the testimonials are something that's initially scary that then becomes this like really, really rewarding thing, right?
Yeah, I agree. I also think it's nice because while we do obviously look for people who have passion for the beauty space or the wellness space, we're not necessarily just looking for a traditional content creator that's only creating beauty content 24/7. We're looking for someone who is really able to integrate beauty and wellness into their everyday life as well. And I think a couple great examples of this could be someone like Kendall Ellis, who was on our Sephora Squad 2022. She's an Olympic athlete, but she really has a passion for wellness and beauty as well, and it's been so fun to partner with her this year. Or one of our 2023 mentors, Tara Kelly, who's also a gaming influencer. She does amazing content on Twitch. You should definitely check it out. But she's been really fantastic to work with as well, because she was finding her audience, especially female gamers, are really interested in learning more about her wellness routines, her beauty routines. And now she's being able to bring that additional flavor to her content, and it's been really rewarding. So definitely something to keep in mind if you're thinking about applying and you're not sure if your feed feels beauty enough or wellness enough. We're really looking for integrated stories, and it's about what you're bringing into the world and the type of attitude you have there.
On testimonials, similar to the application question, if I do the application but I get nervous about the testimonials and I have zero, which the only way you would get zero is you didn't post the link, right? Like ultimately you're going to have like your mom or something is going to leave, someone will leave a testimonial. So you see zero testimonials, you assume they didn't post the link. Like, can you still get in? How important are they? Like, how much of a part of it is this to see those testimonials for y'all?
Yeah, well, testimonials are not a requirement, so it is not going to be a non-starter to review your application if you don't have testimonials, but I definitely will say the majority of people that we end up bringing onto the squad do have testimonials because we're more informed to make a decision about them being able to have impact in their community. So I really feel like it's such a benefit and such a win if you're able to share that. And I know it can be a little uncomfortable, a little bit awkward, but you'll be surprised, as you said earlier, how many people really want to support you. People follow you for a reason because you bring them passion and inspiration and a bit of joy into their life. And a lot of people say, you know, if it was going to be a referral for a friend, are always saying, yeah, I would raise a hand. I would be happy to do that. And it just takes a couple seconds to leave a testimonial, to be honest. You could go in and leave a testimonial in 15 seconds. So it's really not a huge burden on the user's perspective. And it's just something that I feel like if you're comfortable enough to let it be out there in the world, you will be greatly rewarded.
Yeah. You know, not only do we want someone that you know, is a representation of Sephora's values and a representation of the Sephora customer, but we want them to be excited about doing this, right? And again, I think that's one of the things when you have thousands of people applying, you get to pick people who are excited. And it feels good to, like, you know, I can say, you know, from people applying for jobs at Fohr, you know, if you just applied through LinkedIn versus applied through LinkedIn and you sent the person who was hiring a note saying you were really excited, you'd been following the company, you know, whatever it is, right? Just showing that like you really want something, that you've gone that extra mile is like, there is like a psychology thing where we want to reward people. We want to give them things that they really want, and that feels really good, right? And this has to be one of the best parts of your job, that you get to, you know, be part of picking who gets into this program, which is going to be so life-changing. And so I think showing that you really want the opportunity and you're really excited about it is something we really look for, right?
Yeah, and I think influencers too, with the testimonials, like you'll be surprised how much their communities and how much audiences want to participate in that. It's like when you're cheering on your favorite athlete or maybe a friend that just launched a business and like you want to promote them on social media and you want to give gratitude to them, like it's similar with the testimonials. Like you have an influencer, maybe they're more nano or they're more micro and they're taking this leap of faith to chase after their dreams. Like a lot of the time, I think the surprise element too is, wow, like I can't believe how many people are really raising a hand, how much of an impact I've made, how many people can relate to me. It's really special.
If you make it into Sephora Squad, how does it all work? Because you have 15 people, I think, now working, 14?
Yeah, 14 people.
Okay, so there's a lot
Wild.
going on. So let's explain like the types of programs that you might be involved in. So we'll put a minute, 30 seconds on the clock, and Suze is going to break down all the different ways that you could work with Sephora through the Sephora Squad.
When an influencer is brought on to work as part of our Sephora Squad program and is officially a member, which is always very exciting, they have the opportunity, of course, to partner directly with Sephora to work on campaigns that are going to be part of their larger marketing initiatives and calendar. So a lot of times those campaigns will have multiple different brands sold at Sephora included. You'll be able to work with a ton of cool product, oftentimes a lot of new product that's under embargo, so top secret, which is really fun. You also are able to attend our events. We have both in-person and digital events. We often have opportunities for other initiatives where you might be able to come, say, into the Sephora studio and shoot for their owned and operated channels, create content for Sephora's paid media and marketing campaigns to boost your reach and get in front of new audiences, which is really exciting. And additionally, we have tons of different mentorship initiatives, so you'll be able to work with us to be able and understand how to build your business better, how to create better content, work and meet with industry leaders, brand founders, all sorts of good stuff in order to help improve your career. And alongside that, we also work very closely with the brands sold inside of Sephora as well. And what this means is that we're essentially able to matchmake, as Steph is in charge of, between our influencers and different brands and different initiatives or products they're launching. So you'll be able to work directly with, through the Sephora Squad, exclusive opportunities, work directly with the Sephora brands and have opportunities to build those relationships as well.
And that's, you know, just like, I think an interesting industry bit of knowledge that most influencers probably wouldn't know is that a big part of retailers' marketing is these vendor-funded programs. So there is a certain amount of money if you're a brand who is stocked at Sephora or Target or Best Buy or any kind of big retailer. You not only are you you are selling, your product to them, but you have to contribute a certain amount of marketing dollars towards driving customers to purchase your product at that retailer, right? And so, Steph, that is a large part of what you're handling, is that the actual brands. So what are some examples of some of the brands that we would work with on this?
So many at this point: Urban Decay Cosmetics, Skin Fix, Pat McGrath. Supergroup is a big one.
Yeah, Fenty.
Sol de Janeiro, yeah, Fenty
Fenty,
Beauty.
Rare, right? Like, those brands come to Sephora, and they will be like, we want to do a campaign with the squad. And so it's going through Sephora, but it is a program that is funded by the vendors. And this is something you'll see, again, at kind of all major retailers, and just a interesting way to think about how to work with, I think, the brands that you are interested in working with. A lot of times through a retailer is like how they are running these programs, and obviously that's a big part of the squad program.
I think something else that's really unique about the year-long paid partnership with Sephora that opens up this door to really unique opportunities that are best for you is that as part of the partnership, we actually work with our influencers to really get to know them. So they give us, explicit detail about their favorite brands, products, their shades, anything they're interested and passionate about. And we're essentially able to pair their preferences and interests with brands and different campaign opportunities that authentically feel like them already, so that they can really have that connection and be able to have campaigns that they're really psyched to have in their inbox and to actually create and post to their audience.
Yeah, and obviously that's why the applications are so important.
Yeah.
And we continue to lean on those applications and those answers throughout the year. You talked us through the basic structure of the campaigns. I know each contract varies person to person, but I think something that is hard to understand is, what can I expect here as far as like, what are the number of campaigns? Is there a general range of how many sponsored posts you could expect or think would happen for most people in the squad?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, we do say that each individual contract for the year-long paid partnership is unique. Obviously, we're working with the influencer to tailor based off of their platforms, their needs, their interests, and being able to bring together something that's going to be mutually beneficial. So usually I would say we work with each of our influencers from between 3 to 5 campaigns per year within the base contract. There might be additional incremental opportunities that also come their way. That is often the case, especially from our brands at Sephora, which is really fun. But alongside that, you also have the opportunity to participate in those events I mentioned earlier. It's usually 2 in-person events and 1 digital event. And potentially have the opportunity to do things like shoot in the Sephora studio, or be able to have a strategy session with Sephora, which is really fun, and create content for Sephora's owned and operated channels as well. So being able to be featured on their socials and promoted on their socials, which is really huge. So I would say usually that's kind of a bit of a guardrail, may shift up or down depending on the case-by-case basis, but we are really excited to be able to have enough campaigns to work throughout the entirety of the year, but not to overwhelm our creators by any means.
Yeah. And speaking of in-person events, y'all were just at one, right? Again, I hear in-person event. I don't really know what to expect. What are those events like? Maybe just kind of talk us through some highlights from last week.
Yeah, absolutely. The events are really special. We've been having about 2 events a year now, one in June to really kick off the whole process, and then we have another event in February. Last month we had our LA getaway event, and I think what's so special about that is really seeing all of the influencers come together in person, being able to connect with one another, finally meet each other in person for the first time. It's a really special experience. They get to go to the Sephora studio, which is where we film a lot of that content that's being posted on Sephora's channels in their studio space. And it's really special. This last month we had 2 master classes. So we had one with K18, a hair brand that went through really the scientifics of how to care for your hair. It was really interesting. And then Mario by Makeup of Mario also did a makeup class there. So it was very exciting for the squad. They get to have a shopping experience with the Sephora collection. We had a nice sit-down dinner with one another. So really bringing that community to life to inspire one another, learn from one another, and of course sitting through the master classes. I mean, when Mario walked out, we were working, but I was like, I might pass out. But it's really special, and I think what's so cool is seeing through a lot of these influencers, their dreams coming to life right in front of their eyes as you're rooting for them behind the scenes and you're helping them level up their content and their businesses is really special.
It was really fun because people got to ask those, need to know questions directly to the brands and be able to experience their products in a new way.
Yeah. Bringing those big names, I know we also have done Zoom calls with Jennifer Lopez and they're bringing big names, they're investing a huge amount in this, they're creating these really special experiences. If you're in the squad and you have 5,000 followers or 5 million, you're being treated exactly the same. They really do, treat every partner equally and work to give them all this incredible experience, which I think is so unique. And I think the community side of it is if the kind of testimonials and application part is something that everybody feels a huge benefit from in the application, I think then the community and building relationships with other creators is often, I think, what people walk away with as one of the big benefits of the program, right?
Yeah, and that's actually a lot of the feedback that we received from the squad that was there in February. They were saying it's so special and unique to be able to come to one of these events with one of the biggest beauty brands in the space, and there's so many different creators of so many different levels. Not everybody is a macro makeup influencer that just posts makeup tutorials all day. They might be a mom, they might be on Twitch, they might be, I'm blanking on my thought. They're from so many different walks of life, and that's really what they tell us directly, is to come into a space with creators of all different levels, all different backgrounds, and it's not a popularity contest, and it's not just celebrity influencers that are there. Everybody feels so special, and it's really unique.
Okay, so y'all have watched this video, you're feeling hyped, you're ready to apply for Sephora Squad. I mean, for y'all who are going to be reading all of these, besides what we talked about, what do you want to see in someone's application? What is going to make them stand out outside of what we've already discussed?
Yeah, I feel like being able to take the time and energy to really fill out those long form questions and give us details about your personal perspective and influence in your community is going to be huge. Making sure just the simple things, submit the application correctly. Actually when you submit your social media handles, make sure they actually work, you've submitted them properly. Just small things like that so we can actually review your application accurately. Making sure, like we said, to get the word out there about your testimonials, getting people to submit your testimonials so we can review those. And then something that also doesn't hurt is that throughout the application process, you'll have the opportunity also to create a Fohr profile, which essentially obviously you're on the Fohr channel, so hopefully you know a little bit about Fohr, but we do have really amazing influencer profiles that you can create. There'll be the ability, it's not required by any means, it's not mandatory, but a really good opportunity to be able to create a Fohr profile as part of the application or following the application even. And this just allows us to get even more insight and details into what your preferences are, what you're like, making sure that we can really understand and get the full picture of you as a creator and all the potential that you have. So highly recommend doing that if you have the opportunity as well. And just really being able to get a good grasp, of course, of how you're interacting with your community. We're diving into social profiles, looking at how you're speaking to your audience. Are you going in and commenting back? Do you have positive sentiment on your posts? Are you, of course, speaking positively about the brands that you love? Or, of course, if you're sharing your honest and thoughtful opinions on things, we're always looking for making sure that we're authentic with your content. So I think that just being able to show up as your true authentic self and make sure that you're just filling out the application as best you can and giving us as much information as possible will always allow you to go one step further.
Steph, a few rapid fire questions here. If I applied in a previous year, can I reapply?
Yes.
And do we see a lot of that? Does that hurt you? Does that help you? What is the kind of mindset around that?
It absolutely doesn't hurt you, and I think if anything, when we're reviewing those applications, to see that a creator is reapplying for maybe their second or third year and to see how their social media presence has evolved, maybe their storytelling has changed, maybe they're being more authentic. To us, it's like that dedication and passion to the program, and I really think it's very special when I see influencers coming back. We've had some that came back for their second or third time, finally got in, and then they were a launch partner. So I would definitely, a word of advice is not to give up. If you have applied and didn't make it in, I would definitely encourage applying again.
And is there any reason to apply early versus later? Does it matter when I apply? Anything there?
I would say I would highly recommend applying earlier so you have more time for people to leave you testimonials. Even though it doesn't matter, you could apply the first day or the last day, but once again, if you apply later on, you won't have as much time for your audience members to leave a testimonial, so it doesn't hurt to get kickstarted up from the beginning.
Yeah.
And as they're going through it, if there's questions, is there someone then they can reach out to, to ask?
Of course. We do have a email that our team is reviewing with the Sephora team consistently throughout the application process. It's support@sephorasquad.com. So if you just want to reach out there with any questions, we're always happy to answer. But we also do have a really informative FAQ page on the website itself. So if you go to sephorasquad.com, either on the homepage or the dedicated FAQ page, a lot of those questions have been pre-answered for you, so you can make an informed decision. So yeah, highly recommend checking out those resources.
Okay. Well, we are looking forward to seeing everybody's applications. They are looking forward to reading 10,000 or so applications, and I don't know, how many testimonials do we usually get a year? Over 300,000,
Yeah,
I think.
lots.
Yeah.
And they read them all. So good luck to y'all over the next 6 weeks or so. Good luck to y'all if you are going to apply. And for me, this is always one of the most fun parts of the year. So I really look forward to watching it all happen. Amazed at the amount of work that y'all do. Thank you for everything. And if you have any other Sephora Squad questions, we can answer them throughout this next month while applications are open. Applications opened yesterday, they are open now, and they are closing April 4th. So get in there, get it going, get your testimonials, and maybe change your life. Thank you.